What do starfish eat? How do crabs stay warm in the cold? How does coral bleach? G'day wildlife friends, it's Nathan from the Wildlife Movement here with your questions of the week. Every week we answer 3 questions from our students or our viewers to spread the message that nature is an interesting place. If you have questions of your own, let us know in the comments below and we may answer them in a future video. Our first question for this week was asked by Finn, who wanted to know, what do starfish eat? Thanks for asking such a great question, Finn. There are over 2,000 different species of starfish and they all eat different things. Most species of starfish are either carnivores that feed on oysters, clams, scallops, and snails, or they are scavengers that feed on the dead animals that they find. There are even a few species of sea star, like the Antarctic sun starfish, that will feed on other starfish or on fish. Other species of starfish will also feed on algae or on plant material as well. There is even one species of starfish called the crown thorn starfish that feeds on coral and is causing huge problems on the Great Barrier Reef. Our second question for this week came in from Sophie, who wanted to know, how do crabs stay warm in the cold? Thank you for an amazing question, Sophie. I wish that I could answer this question by saying that they put on a tiny jumper and that they put teeny tiny gloves over their claws, but unfortunately that isn't a thing. Crabs are ectotherms, which means that their body temperature is the same as the temperature of the water or the air that is around them. This means that when the air or water around them is cold, that the crab will also be cold as well. Sometimes crabs will move to warmer areas in their environment, but if they are unable to do that, their entire body slows down and their movement becomes slow and sluggish. To protect themselves from predators, some crabs will hide in burrows or will bury themselves under the mud or the sand until their environment warms up again. Our third question for this week came in from Jasmine, who wanted to know, how does coral bleach? Coral bleaching is a huge problem, Jasmine, so thank you for asking about this incredibly important topic. Coral reefs are made up of lots of different types of coral. These different types of corals are made up of 2 parts, the skeleton and the coral polyps. Coral polyps are tiny little animals that are able to build incredible skeletons out of calcium carbonate. Inside of each coral polyp lives another organism called zooxanthellae. These zooxanthellae produce the energy that the coral polyps need to survive, and they are what give the coral their amazing colours. Coral bleaching occurs when the coral polyps are stressed out by their environment and they eject the zooxanthellae from their tissues. This stress can be due to increases in water temperature, increases in water acidity, or due to pollutants such as fertilizers or sunscreen that is not reef safe. Once the zooxanthellae leaves, the coral loses its color and its skeleton turns white, giving it a bleached look. If the conditions don't return to normal and the zooxanthellae don't come back, the coral polyps will eventually die and all that will be left will be their dead white skeletons. Coral bleaching is a huge problem on the Great Barrier Reef and on coral reefs around the world. But by spreading the message that coral reefs are special places full of incredible beauty and diversity, hopefully we will be able to get people to care enough about them and to have a positive impact on them for future generations. And that wraps it up for this week's questions of the week. If you found this video interesting, please make sure that you give it a like and check out the rest of our question of the week videos in this playlist right here. If you're enjoying our content, please consider subscribing to our channel so that we can continue to share the message that nature is a fascinating place. I appreciate you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Until next time, keep living the wild life.